The internet. A vast place filled to the brim with movies, music, applications, and much more is used by around 59% of all people around the globe. But what if I told you that not even half of the web population knows its inner workings? According to a study by HighSpeedInternet.com, only 1 in 3 Americans can correctly explain how the web functions and how this video is streamed through a web of data centers, servers, and security straight to you. This video will explain where the web came from, what happens when you visit a website, and how to create your own website. The web had humble beginnings. Around 30 years ago, it was first referred to as the Internet and was used to transfer documents and files between universities worldwide. This was done over something called ARPANET, owned by the US government. Many international universities quickly adopted it from London to Hawaii. Skip to the 90s. A computer programmer named Tim Berners-Lee, living in Switzerland, builds Enquire, a personal database for software models at CERN University. He left but came back in a permanent role and considered Enquire's problems of information management. He felt that it needed something that scientists could use to present their work. Shortly after Tim's return, CERN installed protocols on the computers at the university to support the internet, resulting in Tim being ready to create the web. He first considered naming it Information Mesh or the Information Mine, but eventually settled on the World Wide Web. By Christmas 1990, Tim had managed to build all the tools he would need for his new network of computers, including the first web browser named World Wide Web. He was ready. He started out the first ever website and made it available to anyone with an internet connection. The website is actually still online today at info.cern.ch, keeping the same link back in 1990. Soon after this, the first websites outside of CERN were switched on with a growing amount of users on the World Wide Web. But now let's talk about how those users and how you connect to websites. Your average web browser, Chrome or Safari, shows nowhere near the amount of work your computer is actually doing when you're trying to reach a website. The process is virtually invisible, but let's lift the bonnet of my browser and try to see what happens when I visit google.com. As you can see, a lot more is going on than you may think. Google makes many requests from my device to its servers, requesting tiny little chunks of what makes up a website. This payload of files is computer code, making up all the text, images, and files you see when you visit a website. The primary language of a website is called HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language. Using HTML, we can write words and statements that humans understand, but can also be translated into something a computer can understand. Now let's dig a little bit deeper and explore how my device communicates with Google. It first reads the google.com name and contacts a unique address behind it, like your home address but on the internet. This address belongs to what's called a web server. A web server is like any computer, but it doesn't have a screen, mouse, or keyboard, making it really easy to run in a secure environment and keep it chilled. The web server then acknowledges you and sends all the chunks of the website back to your unique address. Your browser then takes these files and displays them on your screen, showing a pretty website with all the content you expect. This process happens in seconds, whether you're traveling under the ocean or over telephone poles. Visiting websites hopefully seem more complicated now, but what if you want to own one? Well, the process of making your own space on a massive ocean of websites on the internet is relatively easy. Many companies worldwide have made applications to make this process a lot easier to understand, like Squarespace, Wix, and Shopify. Using a website builder is usually the best process if you're wanting to build your own space without having to learn much. But first you'll need a name, like youtube.com or wikipedia.org. All domains cost, but prices vary from around $10 to $100 a year. Fortunately, .com domains can only cost approximately $12 a year. But you'll need to find a registrar that's cheaper enough to get it. Finding a good registrar is easy, like going to a market for ice cream and visiting all the stalls for the best one. The easiest way is just by Googling domain registrars and having a look around. Once you register your domain name and import it into your website builder you choose, you can start designing your own space on the web. The web is a complicated web of information files, and we will never completely understand it. Still, hopefully this video has put it into its perspective and inspired you to contribute to the ever-growing number of websites out there. Next time you visit a website, you can think of what's happening behind the scenes and how your connection travels across the globe at lightning fast speeds straight to your computer, and how it seems like you're just accessing a file on your computer, but just a tiny bit slower. Thanks for watching. you.